Hey YouTube, it's Alexi Giovani and welcome to my channel for another Animal Crossing video. I'm excited as we're about 24 hours away before the special Animal Crossing Direct event. If you don't know what that is, well, Nintendo holds special Direct events a couple of times a year and usually showcases new titles being released for the Switch. Unfortunately, as Animal Crossing fans, we've come out empty-handed the past few, except for the most recent one. They announced a dedicated Direct just for Animal Crossing. They've more than hinted of the introduction of the Roost in New Horizons, which if you've only ever played Animal Crossing New Horizons and none of the previous version, you'd be trying to understand all the hype. The Roost was a shop that Brewster, who's a good friend of Blather's, would serve his coffee from. Brewster has a cult following in AC enthusiasts and many people are excited at the prospect. At the Roost, you would also get to do a part-time job where the challenge was to try and get to know your customers best and serve them the type of coffee that matched them. You would have to try and pick the bean type, the amount of milk and amount of sugar. However, they would only ever tell you one of the three, so you would have to try and figure out the rest. You were rewarded with grades of coffee beans depending on how well your shift went, but you'd also get Brewster Gyroids. The Gyroids only arrived in New Leaf after Brewster arrived, so in addition to getting Brewster, most likely we're getting Gyroids as well. Well, what are Gyroids? Gyroids are little clay figurines which are said to be modelled on Japanese clay figures called haniwa, which were buried alongside the dead. Bit creepy, you might think. But in Animal Crossing, these figurines were reminiscent of the toys in the 80s that would dance and bop to music and sounds. They'd move to the songs of KK, although they could only be placed indoors. These gyroids would appear in the ground just as we're used to seeing fossils. If you've finished your fossil collection, you're probably just ignoring the marks in the ground. Now might be the chance to get excited about digging them up again and start a new collection. Note that it would only ever appear after a rainy day, which prediction seems like the days are changing in Animal Crossing New Horizons to rain the whole day rather than portions of the day. So maybe there's more brewing. Let me know if you're looking forward to the Gyroids and something else to collect. If you haven't already tried this, you'll find that you can only terraform 2 levels high. Well, that's slightly untrue. You can terraform up to 3 levels, but you're not permitted to climb up to the 3rd one. I feel that this is an artificial limitation put in by Nintendo to buy them a little bit of time for a later date. I'm hopeful that they'll allow us not only to climb up to the 3rd level, but give us 4 extra ramps to make the most of this. And not only that, I'm secretly wishing on the ability of diagonal ramps, just as we can have diagonal bridges, which I'd mentioned in another video of mine, linked in the description below and in the link above. Again, like Brewster was data mined well over a year ago, which means decompiling and reverse engineering the code might give clues or giveaways, which is where this hint came from. Another concept that's been detected is what seems to be customizable fences. So imagine changing the look of your fences to a white, brown or red. Whether you have amiibo cards or not, you may have noticed that you can invite campers to your campsite from the ABD machine. However, there are several New Horizons exclusive characters like Raymond, Judy and Sherb, all of which are very rare. The fact that you can only get them on mystery flights or inviting them from other islands has sparked an alternative currency. In the early days, people were known to spend actual money to try and get hold of them. These days you can get by just trading them with stacks of Nook Mile tickets. However, Nintendo did announce that there is going to be a Series 5, which I predict will devalue these sort of characters and burst their popularity bubble. The thing that doesn't add up though, Series 1 to 4 of amiibo cards have 100 characters, so what will the rest of the series hold? Sure, they can top it up with some of the New Horizons NPC regulars like Flick, Wisp and CJ, but what about the rest? This is where the excitement kicks in. Are they releasing a bunch of new villages to find? Which itself is exciting, or will it be a small series set? What do you think they'll do? In a previous video of mine, I'd explained about treasure islands and how much you can find there. I'll leave it linked in the description. Whilst you can get golden tool recipes, one thing you can't game on with this island is completing your fish and bug set, which you can only complete by actually catching the critters yourself. When you do this, your reward is the golden version of the tools which you use to catch these critters. The irony to this is that to catch all of these, you would have broken many tools. In New Leaf, you're rewarded on your way to this by getting your silver tools like a silver shovel and net. Flimsy tools take 40 hits to break, regular ones take 100, whereas golden ones are said to take around about 200. So given we already can farm iron, stone, gold and clay, wouldn't it be great if you could hit rocks to get silver? And have new DIYs that are awarded to us when you get to say halfway of your given Critterpedia category. Having silver in the game would also allow us to craft other items, and in doing so would extend our gameplay. Whilst that wouldn't make much of a difference if you already have the golden set, a silver set would definitely help some of the new players and the growing number of players that are joining the community. It might also give us a new set of achievements to unlock. Speaking of DIYs, I'm hopeful that with the introduction of Brewster, he might also bring some DIYs that allow us to craft food items. Modern cafes these days house a lot of food, so how cool would it be if you could grow more fruit than the 5 that we get, and more vegetables than the pumpkins? I'd love to see more things to breed as well. We could harvest the fruits and vegetables to make food and drinks that we so often see the villagers holding. What do you think? Is that something you'd be interested in seeing? It's probably well forgotten now, but Nook's Cranny currently only has 2 phases of upgrades, 3 including the one where they sell out of the town hall when you first join. Aside from a fancier looking internal, there is only a little bit more that they sell. If you've ever noticed, there seems to be a roped off section in the first upgrade of Nook's Cranny. I'm predicting that we'll be able to upgrade Nook's Cranny a second time to hopefully give us an upstairs which might be a furniture section, or even a dedicated place for good old Leif to sell from. Leif did have a dedicated small shop in New Leaf, so check out a video I did where I compared New Leaf to New Horizons. I'm betting that they finally give us an upgrade to Nook's Cranny, combining a department for Leif, but better still, I'm hopeful that they also give us a gardening shop, to tie in with the other prediction I'm making about food making and DIYs. What are you hoping for in the announcement of Animal Crossing Direct? Leave us all a comment with what your prediction is, and feel free to leave a comment after the event of what I've been right for and wrong about. I'd love to hear from you. Originally, I'd hoped to have streamed the event live with my reactions, but given it's at 1 AM in the morning here in Australia, I doubt that's going to happen. But if I find a way to do it without waking up the house, we'll see what happens. Have you hit that subscription for my channel yet? If not, now's the opportune moment, along with that bell icon, to hear of my latest videos. This is Alexi Giovani signing off, and until next time, see ya!